So you're going on a cruise. Great. Now you got to find the right cruise for you out of the thousands that are available out there. I'm going to give you some tips on how to pick the right cruise line, the right ship, and the right place to cruise. Welcome aboard Sea Cruise. I'm Chris, the Cruising Old Fart. Today I'm going to talk about picking the right cruise for your first or your next cruise vacation. With more than 300 cruise ships and 100 cruise lines around the world, your choices are kind of endless when it comes to picking the right cruise. Probably the most important thing to consider is the passenger and the cruise line demographics. Who else is going to be on that ship, and what do they offer that really appeals to me? As the Cruising Old Fart, I'm looking at things a little differently than I used to when I was younger and foolisher. Do I really need a party atmosphere on board? Do I need a go-kart track or bumper cars? And you don't honestly think I'm going up on that climbing wall, do you? Most of those were way more attractive to me when I started cruising 25 years ago. Now, not so much. As a slightly more life experience cruiser, what do I look for now? Well, I'm looking for a slightly slower pace on board, maybe a little more refined and a little less athletic activities. I'm looking for good food, a pleasant atmosphere with people kind of my own age, not geriatric, but probably not very far off either, and good entertainment. I don't want it to be stuffy, but a full-on party 24 hours a day won't work for me either. Of course, I look at the cost of the cruise and the itinerary. I don't want to go on a cruise that I've done 6 times before. Take a look at the cruiser profile I've developed to see what kind of cruise is going to fit you and your lifestyle. There's a link below in the description if you haven't seen it already. For North American travelers, the most popular cruise length is 7 days. The most popular destination is the Caribbean. For people across the pond, cruise length is about the same, but the destinations, of course, are really different. Consider a Baltic, a Mediterranean, or a Scandinavian cruise. Or maybe head to Spain or the south of France for a more sun-drenched experience. Especially for the Brits out there, I really have to recommend a site called emmacruises.com. For information for Europeans and Brits. Emma is well versed in cruise travel from around the continent and the UK and can offer you much better advice than I can. Her focus is really traveling on a budget. Cruising from the UK is a lot different than North American travel. Different customs, different rules, regulations, laws, even different cruise companies. For us older folks, Saga Cruises is a 50-plus cruise line with activities and destinations geared to the more life experience traveler. Again, check out emmacruises.com. But come back here when you're done, okay? So, back to my American friends. My tip for you is start off with a 7-day Caribbean cruise out of Florida. So why a 7-day instead of a 3 or a 4-day? On a short cruise, you really don't get the full cruise experience. They'll visit maybe one port or maybe only go to the cruise line's private island. The activities are likely really different to what the same line will offer on a longer cruise, and you don't really get the chance to know the ship, especially with the ships getting bigger and offering so many more venues and activities. That being said, if your budget or available time only allows you to do a short cruise, pick the cruise over staying at home. So, 7-day cruise, but why the Caribbean? Well, if you're from the west coast of North America, that's a pretty valid question. Think about doing a Mexican Riviera or maybe a Pacific coastal cruise. You'll still get that hot, sunny weather, and the ports are as good as, and some say even better, than the Caribbean ports. Unfortunately, though, there's less choice and a lot fewer cruises out of the left-hand side of North America than the right. The Caribbean, pretty much ideal for a first cruise. There's lots of destinations, interesting itineraries. There's a wide range of ships doing those trips. And getting to and from the cruise ports is relatively easy. Many of the Caribbean ports are really reliant on tourism and cruise passengers to help boost their economy. Like most cruise ports around the world, they're safe, they're friendly, and they're really geared to us folks that pop in just for a few hours. They want to make sure you have a good time, so you'll at least consider coming back, either on a cruise or for maybe a more extended stay. Let's take a look at cruise lines. Every line is just a little different. Some will focus on food, some activities, some on destinations, still others on the entertainment. The demographics on each line can vary amazingly. Some companies like Holland America in North America or Saga in Europe have a reputation for having an older, kind of more sedate crowd on board. Others like Carnival or Norwegian seem to be geared more towards the younger cruiser. In general, cruises on school breaks or holidays have more children on board. Longer cruises, more exotic itineraries, lean towards an older demographic. But don't let your age dictate which cruise line you have to go on. I know of 70-year-olds who can put a 30-something to shame when it comes to partying. They might feel it more the next day, but boy, they have a good time the night before. Over the years, our cruise tastes have changed, but I'd still consider any of the lines we've traveled with, depending on the length of cruise, the itinerary, the time of year, and the ship size. While the ships are getting bigger and bigger all the time, there's still a lot of smaller ships out there if you're looking for a more intimate, relaxed kind of atmosphere. Again, talk to your travel agent about what will suit you. They're bound to be able to steer you in the right direction. And check out other cruising resources like cruisecritic.com or emmacruises.com. Travel websites, Condé Nast or Travel and Leisure are two sites that have really good comparisons between lines and sometimes even ships within a line. Whatever you choose, your decision should be based on what you like, your likes and dislikes, your lifestyle, and your activity level. There's a cruise out there that fits for you. In the next episode, I'll go into a little more detail about different cruise lines. I'll talk about cabins, activities, budget, and of course, food. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything, and you'll get notified when my next video comes out. Hey, thanks for dropping by, and we'll see you on board.